Hello friend, let's learn 7th Science chapter number 10. Name is respiration in organ. In this chapter, we will do a discuss about the respirations, if how organs, how different type of living things take the respirations. What is actually respiration? Respiration is nothing, it is actually breathing, and breathing is very essential part of the body. Then if I will say about the respiration, then different type of animals and living things take having a different type of respiratory organs. Then these are the different type of respiratory organs in different living things. That's why we will study here in different type of the respiration. What is actually, sometime you will feel that you are doing a work, what that and you are doing a exercise, that a time your breathing breathing is, you will feel that the breathing per minute is being increased. Why? Because that in time we feel more energy. That's why the rate of breathing is being increased there, and we take a more breathing at per minutes. That gives us a energy, and we are easily to perform the work. Then actually why we do respire? Because respire is the very important a very important process. You know that our body is made of the cell, and every cell perform the certain work for certain time. Then like as nutrition, transportations, exhalation, reproduction, such as the function is being done by the cells, and for doing such type of function they need energy. And why we take energy? Whenever you know and you have learned in previous class, and I have already discussed with you, that a small component of foods is breakdown in our body in large extent time, and the small component of that of the food is named is glucose. And actually glucose release energy. How? When glucose reacts with the oxygen, it release energy. It release energy, and also release water also. That you have seen here, that it is a ATP means energy. Then when the respiration is taken place occurs in presence of oxygen, such type of respiration is called aerobic respiration. Whereas when the glucose broke down in absence of oxygen, and alcohol and carbon dioxide release, and in that time energy release, such type of respiration is called anaerobic respiration. Okay, then we have study here two type of respiration. First is aerobic respiration, and second is Anaerobic respiration. Then two type of respiration we have studied here. You know that our body take oxygen rich air through our nose. Okay, then it goes in our body and in every cell, and the glucose that is present there is broken down in presence of oxygen and release energy. Then such type of breathing is called inhalations, and such type of breathing is called inhalation. And when our body push out the air through our body is called exhalation. Then there are two type of breathing. We take two type of process. First is inhalation and second is exhalation. Then you have seen in this picture that what is this? This is inhalation and this is exhalation. Then we have a study here that two type of respiration. First is aerobic respiration and second is anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration is what? When the glucose break down in presence of oxygen is called aerobic respiration. Whereas when the glucose break down in absence of oxygen is called anaerobic respiration. Actually, yeast are the single celled organism and they respire anaerobically and during the process of yield alcohol. You know that the wine and beer is made of the yield of the yeast. Then what is this? This how alcohol produced through the anaerobic respiration that is shown in this picture clearly, that when the glucose broke down in absence of oxygen it's release alcohol and carbon dioxide and energy. Then these are the sometime you will feel that you are doing a more work, like as whenever you are doing an exercise, you are running, you will feel that we are taking more breathing. Why? And your muscle is being cramped. Why? Because that is time our body feel more energy. That's why that time the glucose is broken down into the absence of oxygen, because oxygen is not got by my body in a regular way. That's why that time the anaerobic respiration take place in our body and lactic acid is being released and energy we take. Then this is the types of birds when the muscles is being cramped and you wash that muscle with a warm water or massage that the muscle again take the sufficient energy through the environment and we feel relaxed. Then such type of respiration also take, anaerobic respiration also take in our body sometime. Now breathing. What is breathing? Breathing is oxygen rich air through our body is taken through our body is called inhalations, and the carbon dioxide rich air goes through the environment, through push out our body through the in the surrounding is called in exhalation. There are two type of breathing. Okay, this is the two process of the breathing. And now for knowing of respiratory organ of the human. Firstly, we will see what is the which type of figure is being taken, which type of organ has been taken by the humans for the respiration. You have seen here, this is a figure, this is our nasal passes, our body take our oxygen rich air through our nose and it goes in our tracheas and the bronchi, and it is the bronchi and tracheas, and it is lungs, and it is a ribs. What is this? What happened when we take the oxygen rich airs? It goes in our tracheas and bronchi, and lungs is full of the oxygens rich airs, because the diaphragm, that is a base seat, that is where the chest cavity take place, and diaphragm is a floor seat. Diaphragm, what is diaphragm? Diaphragm is a floor seat, that on that the chest cavity is present. It is called a diaphragm. Then what happened? Ribs is taken our oxygen rich airs and come up, and diaphragms goes down. After that, our lungs fill up the ears, and when it is inhalation, and when the exhalation takes place, then the diaphragms come in our presence time, and the ribs goes down, then the air that is present in our lungs is pushed out. Then these are the very complex process. You have seen, for knowing such type of process, we take one activity. Okay, you take two type of jar. Okay, that is transparent, and cut off the bottom. Okay, or now you take a white, that is shown in this picture, that you take a white type of tube. Okay, and fix that tube through the top of the bottle, and take one hole, give one hole through that, and take a rubber sheet that is bounded the base of the bottle. Okay, now what happened when you pull up the rubber sheet? Then what happened? The balloon is being inflated. How? The air is come through the pipe, and the volume, when we pull to the rubber sheets, the volume is increased here. That's why the air, more dense air comes in the bottles. That's why the balloon is being inflated. Whereas we leave out the rubber sheet, then what happened? The volume is decreased pressure, and that's why the pressure would be increased, and the balloon is being deflected. Then what it shows, if you can imagine that, what is this? This is a white tube. Is if you take such type of tube, like as performed in our body, or tracheas and bronchia, then what is this? Bronchi. Then what is this? This is a type of, if you will say, you will think that this is two white type of tube that is full, that is and here two type of balloons. If you will take such type of balloon like as lung, then what happen when we inhale the oxygen reach here is goes in our body and our lungs is being inflected, means our lungs is full of the oxygen rich air, then it comes in our body. And when diaphragm, and what is the rubber seat? Rubber seat is like as your diaphragm, and when it goes down and ribs is move up, then the more volume is increased here, that's why pressure would be decreased, then your lungs would be full of the full oxygen here. And in exhalation, what happened when the diaphragms come into a present into a earlier size, and that's why the volume is decreased, pressure would be increased. That's why the air that is full of carbon dioxide rich air that is present in our lungs would be pushed out through our body. Then this activity shows how our lungs full of the oxygen rich air, and how we inhale air, and how we push out the carbon dioxide rich air in environment, the pushing out through the body. Then this activities shows and clear us to how we inhale or exhale, and this is a respiratory organ of our body, of the human. Then okay, now you know that sometimes you feel that sneeze. Why? Because sometimes whenever your nasal cavity have a small hair, whenever you take oxygen rich the dust full oxygen rich air, dust is cleansed near the nasal hair, and what happened, we feel the irritation, that's why we feel sneeze there. Okay, now one very interesting things I want to discuss here, that pranayam is what? In pranayam we concentrate in our inhale or exhale breathing, then it fill us a more energy, because we take more oxygen air, that's why the more energy is being released in our body, and we feel more healthy and we feel relaxed. Then this is the different type of action, and this is the different type of respirations is taking place in our human body. Now I am going to discuss with you different type of animals have a different type of respiratory organs. In a healthy human take 10 to 15 times breathing at 1 minute, whereas whenever he is doing a work and he is doing a exercise, then he can take a 20 to 25 time breathing at 1 minute. Okay, now I am going to discuss with you such type of animals like as a snake, bird, frog. Okay, different type of animals have different type of respiratory organs. Like as if I will take about an example of cockroach, then cockroach is having a pancreas, and this pancreas is connected with a spiral, and the oxygen rich air is taken through the spiracles and it goes in a pancreas where the oxygen is diffused in every tissues and and energy is being taken by the cockroach. And after that, after the inhalation, carbon dioxide rich air first goes through the spiracles and go out into the push out through the push out of the cockroach in environment. Then such type of system is being taken place in occurs in a cockroach. If I will say about the earthworm, then earthworms is taking oxygen through a skin that is very sleepy and very moist. Then they take oxygen through the skin and and this is the different type of respiration is taken in earthworm. If I will say about the some aquatic animals like as in fish, then fish having a gill, you know that, and the gill is a respiratory organ of the fish and they take oxygen that is dissolved in the water through the gill and use that, and after that they exhale carbon dioxide in the water. Then these are the respiratory organ of the fish. If I will say about the plant, then plant have a different type of independent different type of respiratory organs. You know that in a leaf what is leaves having a stomata, you have already known about this, and they take oxygen through the body and resolve into energy, whereas a root take the oxygen through the gap of the soil particles. Then different independent part of the plants have taken oxygen independently. Then these are the main topics that I have discussed with you, and I think that you would understand all the short topic in this chapter. If you have any doubt, write in comment box. I will give you answer and I will give you a solution of that to these problems as much as possible. Okay, now I am going to discuss with you a question answer of this chapter. First questions that is so in this screen, then why does the athlete breathe faster and deeper than usual after the finishing rate? Then why? Because in a breathing, in athletes take more whenever they are finishing the race, the sufficient oxygen is not taken. The sufficient oxygen is not taken in his body, because that's why they take a more breathing than it's fulfill the oxygens in his body, and they take a more oxygen through the breathing, and it gives him a more energy that a time. Let's the similarity and difference between anaerobic or aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Then you know that what is the first name is aerobic and anaerobic. Okay, then aerobic or anaerobic, first similarity is what? Both are dissolve the glucose. glucose. Both break down the glucose. Second thing is what is similarity. Similarity is aerobic respiration. Energy is released. Here we energy is released. Energy is released. Third thing is similarity, that aerobic respiration is being taken. It is also a types of respiration. This is also a type of respiration. Then these are the similarity. What is the difference? If I will say about the difference between the anaerobic and aerobic or anaerobic respiration, difference is in aerobic respiration, oxygen is react with the glucose, whereas here the absence of oxygen. Okay. Second is difference in aerobic respiration, your body glucose, when it react with the glucose, then carbon dioxide and water is released, where here the alcohol is being released. Then these are the difference between anaerobic or aerobic respiration. Okay. Now our third question is here, that why do we often sneeze when we inhale a lot of dust landed air? Then I have already discussed with you, when we take our dusty airs through our nose, our nasal hair is present there, and the dust is being cleansed near the nasal hairs, and it irritate the wall of the nasal cavity, and we feel a sneeze that a time. Okay. Our fourth question that is shown, that take a 3 tubes, this is 3/4 each of with water, label them A, B, C. Keep the snail in one test tube, water plant in B and C test tube. What will happen? Then keep the snail and plant both. Which test tube would be highest concentrated of the CO2? Then you know that snail is an earthworm, and it's dissolve CO2 whenever you put whenever you put the beakers, that is 3/4 fill of the water. Then the A type of test tube would be more concentrated to the CO2. Okay, and now our next question that is so here, that in cockroach air enters through the body through the spiracle. You know that during the heavy exercise we get cramps. Why? Because during the heavy exercise we get cramped in our leg due to the accumulation of lactic acid, because whenever we do more exercise, energy in absence of oxygen, glucose break down into a lactic acid and energy. Then due to lactic acids, our legs is cramped due to accumulation of the lactic acid. Normal range breathing rate per minute in average adult is, I have already discussed with you, 50 to 80 times. During the exhalation, the rib is move onward, and diaphragm goes up, downwards. That's why the air is filled up in the lungs. Okay, then this is a question. Now our next question is a matching of the column A to B. Then east. What is east? East is alcohol, because yeast will resolve alcohol due to aerobic respiration and energy. Okay, diaphragm. Diaphragm is what? Diaphragm is actually a chest cavity, the base of the chest cavity. Skin. Skin is earthworm. Okay. Lips. Lips is stomata. Okay. Face. Gill. Gill. Okay. Since gill, face is taken, or respiratory organ name is gills. Okay. Frog. Frog take a frog respiratory system like as a man. They having also a lungs and pancreas. Then it is a pancreas. Then these are the different type of matching here. Okay, now our next question is, during a heavy exercise the breathing rate of person is slow down. Okay, slow down. Why? It is true or it is false? Then it is false, because during the heavy exercise we take more breathing at a time. Okay, plants carry out photosynthesis only at day and respiratory system only at night. So, yes, it is correct. Frog breathe through the skin as well as their lungs. It is also true. The fish have a lungs for a respiratory system. False. The size of chest cavity increase during the inhalation. True. Then I think that you understand all the topic, and our next and last question of this topics is the mountains carry oxygen with them because the less quantity of air outside above the amount of air available to the person is less than that available into the ground. Okay, then it is all over the answer and question answer I have discussed you, and I think that you understand all the topic related to this chapter, and I have discussed all question answer and topic, and now these are now I am going to wrap up my session here, and I will meet with you in next class with new concept. Thanks. Okay.